Welcome back to Fast Freddy RC, and today we're going to do an unboxing video of the Tamiya Hornet. Now, I realize that there's probably a lot of unboxing videos of this car on YouTube, and I kind of hummed and hawed and wondered whether I should do one. I've decided to do one because I enjoy that process anyway, and I kind of like showing you what's in the box the way that I do it. So I'm going to continue doing that. But the thing is, this car specifically is really a Tamiya icon because it pretty much started a lot of our RC careers, you could say, because all of us know the Hornet, we know Tamiya, they kind of were one and the same. This was the car that started it all for most of us out there and got our dreams going in terms of what other vehicle might we get in the future. But for me, there is another reason why I specifically wanted to get this on the channel, because as you probably have seen in the description, I do not intend on making this one box art. And even that I hummed and hawed on, because being that it is so iconic, do I really want to just paint it as it is, like do the box art? But for me, really, the car that got it started, or the car that started it all, is the Tyco turbo hopper. And I had the red one and my brother had the black one, and we pretty much ran those till they were dead. I mean, I think the tires on those had no spikes whatsoever. They'd been completely bald by the time they were tossed in the garbage, I think, because back then there wasn't really a lot you could do with them. So I was trying to figure out how to make this work. And then I ran into a fellow that has a company in the UK called Nostalgia RC, and he creates decals specifically so that you can turn a Tamiya Hornet into a Tyco turbo hopper. His designs are specifically for this car. So in talking with him, I had to order it. And you know, I decided, well, if I'm ordering something from all that way, let's go with the red and let's go with the black set. Because you never know, maybe I'll, you know, do another one and then I can do a black Tyco turbo hopper and a red Tyco turbo hopper. Now originally, I was planning on making this red because that's the car that I had as a kid. Well, I've decided in the end that to try and keep this as close to the original Tamiya, we should paint this body black, just like this was. And that's what the Tyco Turbo Hopper was with their black edition. So I will be turning this into the black Tyco Turbo Hopper. So this is gonna be so cool. I'm super excited. You can see in terms of the decaling, they're a perfect match for the original car. So we're gonna put these on. So why don't we just get to the unboxing? Okay, I've taken the plastic off just to make it easier. So let's get into this and take a look. I can't wait to see it. I've seen this box on the shelf for years, and to be able to see it in real life, that is just so cool. Love it. And it's the old style box setup as well. The Hornet description in the middle, the box of all the parts and goodies. It's so cool. So right off the bat, we can take a look at the wing here. That's just too cool. So we'll get that painted up. And as I said, this isn't going to be box art, so this is going to be quite different. So cool. Love the look of this. That's just awesome. It's gonna look so good. And then of course we have our chassis. Very cool. Pretty much the same thing as the Grasshopper, so it's, you know, we're building off of that same chassis design. And then we have, you know, on this side, we've got our driver figure. Very cool. That's awesome. And then this is our battery cover for the bottom. Awesome. Oh, and you can see these are the side pieces, the side rails for protecting the side of the car. Very, very cool. And then we have, these are the wheels, the 3-piece wheels. Now, I have said before that these are the worst wheels to put together, and I actually have a video right here to show you how to put the wheels on much quicker, and it's not going to give you a complete sense of grief in putting this car together. So I suggest you check that video out because I think it's going to be very, very helpful. So yeah, not looking forward to these, but honestly, with the way that I've figured out how to do it, it shouldn't take you long to do at all. Then of course we have our tires. So there we go. There's our rib tires in there and our spike tires. Very cool. And the Grasshopper, of course, came with the sand tires. So this actually should have more grip. But I mean, the car should be better than the Grasshopper anyway, just because the rear has the oil-filled shocks as well as there's a difference to it. With the Grasshopper, it goes up and down. The Hornet has the ability for the suspension to go side to side as well, which will stop a lot of the constant bouncing as you go along. It's quite different. And then here we have our front arms. We have our servo savers and a few other pieces by the looks of it. Very cool. And then this one here, well, you can see here, these are the pieces that I'm talking about, which inside the suspension's going to be able to have a little bit of movement side to side to help with that bouncing. So that's very, very cool. Then of course we have our gearbox, and you can see the size of that gearbox. Those two halves go together, and that will be our rear end. And of course we've got our motor cover there, and then these are our bits that'll fit onto the rear wheels, which keep them on the wheel. So that's very, very cool. And then of course we have what's in this box. And if I open this up, there's not many. I mean, it doesn't have a lot of parts, this car. But there you go. There is our front bumper. Here we have our nylon gears. Very, very cool. Zoom into that for a second. Hopefully, maybe. Well, maybe not. Come on, you can do it. There we go. I think there are our gears. Very cool. Then we have bag D, which doesn't have many parts. There's a couple of little bits. We got ball connectors, we got pins, we got brass bushings, which will probably be going in where the shocks attach to the chassis. Then we have bag C, which has some nuts, flange nuts, some screws, but again, not too much stuff in there either. Then we have the oil-filled shocks, which is the big change over the Grasshopper. We get rear oil-filled shocks, and they're even in a, as far as I know, these are actually a metal housing. These aren't even plastic, these bits right here. They're metal. So the rear shocks are aluminum. Very, very cool. Then in this one, well, you can see we've got another gear in there. Some other bits, probably these are probably for the steering arms. And then we've got our little tube of grease and some pins and double-sided tape, etc. But again, not a whole lot of goodies in that bag. Very cool. And of course, we have our 540 motor. And that's another big difference. The Grasshopper only comes with a 380. So it's going to be noticeably faster with the Hornet because of this motor. And with it having aluminum oil-filled shocks, with the ability for the suspension to go side to side, it actually should still handle better than the Grasshopper by far. And of course, now we've got bag B, and that, well, this is probably the biggest bag. It comes with a lot of our screws that we're going to need to put everything together. And then we have bag A, which again, it's all the little guys, little screws, little washers, pins, nuts, etc. So there's quite a few goodies in bag A. And last but not least, we have our bag of plastic bushings. Here's what I want you to do with this bag of bushings. Gone. We are going to replace those with bearings, and I highly suggest you do the same. It's going to keep your car from wearing out prematurely, and really it's a good thing overall. I don't really think it's a hop-up. I think it's something you should be doing right away. And of course, we have our stickers. These are the stickers you would use if you're going to do this box art. But as many of you know, I am not doing this box art. I mentioned it earlier. It's just not, I want to do this as a Tyco turbo hopper, and I have all the correct stickers for it. So this is all going to get replaced with those stickers. So that is awesome. And then of course we have our manual. And again, you know, Tamiya just does an incredible job with their manuals that you're going to have a really easy time putting this car together. They just do such a good job of describing things, of showing you where things are. There's usually never a place where you go, I wonder what they mean by that. They do a very, very good job with the detail in their instruction manual, except for the tires. Remember the tires. Anyways, there we go. That is the unboxing video for the Tamiya Hornet. Please like, subscribe, it helps the channel. And if there are other vehicles you would love to see and I haven't done those yet, please feel free to reach out, comment down below. But otherwise, we'll see you in another video.